A picture's worth 1,000 words. I'm sure you've heard that phrase hundreds of times before, but have you ever stopped to think about what it truly means? The way I see it, you can convey an entire scene, or no, an entire story, through one simple photograph. It's an indication of how powerful photography can be. Recently, I came across a certain game that took this phrase and amplified it tenfold. A game of adventure. A game of friendship. A game of mystery and discovery. A game of pure joy and wonder. Let me set the scene. It was a warm summer night, the beginning of August. I had just sat down on the couch after a relaxing day of swimming, sunbathing, and grilling with my family. Ready to unwind for the night, I sat on the couch, got comfortable, and turned on my Xbox. As the glimmer of the TV illuminated the room, something caught my eye. They were the new games on Game Pass. I decided to scroll through them, and there it was. Before I played TOEM, it had actually been quite some time since the last time I played an indie game, but this is the game that drew me right back in. Something about the cute, cheerful, friendly art style just appealed to me, and I downloaded it right away. The game loaded up, and there I was, a small, cozy bedroom. I explored for a bit, noting all the furniture and decorations that were scattered about the room. Honestly, the room wasn't too different from the one I'm in right now. I already felt a pretty strong sense of familiarity. After all that was out of the way, I decided to keep pushing forwards, noting an empty picture frame hanging up on the wall on my way out. After a short bit of dialogue, I was handed a camera and an objective. It was to see the famous TOEM phenomenon. I did some quick tasks around the outside of the house, acting as a sort of tutorial, took a quick photo, and finally, I hopped on the bus, ready to start my grand adventure. There I was, this quaint little forest. I could hear the chirps and warbles of the wildlife throughout the expanse of cabins, trees, and friendly faces that surrounded me. As I explored this new land, taking pictures, talking to all the residents, and making new memories, 4 faint notes reverberated throughout the air around me. I fell in love instantly. The song, titled Pine Needles, was the perfect blend of simplicity and originality, and it perfectly captured the vibe of this small oak town that I was in. The music in TOEM, composed by Jamal Green and Launchable Socks, is honestly probably one of my new favorite indie game soundtracks in a while. Every track is composed in such a perfect way that it really fits the vibe of each area that you're in. Every song encapsulates feelings of nostalgia, wonder, and adventure. Every tune was perfect. I seriously can't stress enough how good this game's soundtrack is. In fact, it has a vinyl coming out in a few months, and I already have my pre-order in. The music of TOEM alone is such a major selling point for the game for me, and even separated from the source material, it's still such a magical, wondrous soundtrack. In fact, I already have countless memories attached to some of these songs already. I can't begin to count the amount of times I would go outside with my dog Brinley during those cool summer afternoons, and we would play fetch, tag, or just lay in the grass and watch the vibrant purples and oranges wash over the canvas that was the late summer sky, while the sun would silhouette beneath the clouds that watched down on us that day. There are so many great video game soundtracks out there that I love, but I can confidently say that none of them have stuck with me for as long as this one has. Music aside, one of the other main draws for TOEM for me is the gameplay. As I briefly mentioned earlier, you'll find yourself doing quests in order to gain stamps to get to the next area of the world. Some of these consist of taking photos, finding these hidden cubes, or helping others, and it's that last one that really stands out to me. Throughout your travels across these 6 main lands, you'll come across a colorful cast of characters who all need help in their own way. There's a sock that needs help finding his missing sock, a balloon who got blown away from home, a goat choir, there's a yeti that you deliver these adorable dog-like creatures to, a king who wants his own t-shirt, a construction worker who you encourage to go for a swim. This game has a lot of memorable characters, and as you could probably tell, if I had the time, I could keep going on and on about them. The world TOEM is set in is such a vast, enchanting, and unforgettable place, and I truly believe it helps the game stand out amongst the sea of countless other indie games out there. The last thing I want to touch on before I start wrapping this video up is one of the best areas you'll encounter in your time with TOEM. After your adventure comes to a close, you make your way home. An adventure like that, while fun, must have been pretty tiring. A vacation would be ideal right now. And luckily, that's exactly what you get. A whole year after the original release, developers Something We Made decided to release a completely free DLC update for TOEM in the form of post-game content. This new area, called Basto, has all of the charm of the base game. Memorable characters, an infectious and great soundtrack, and all-around good vibes. In fact, some people might say it's the best part of the game. During your time on this island, not only are you going to meet a brand new set of colorful, eccentric characters, but you may even run into a few familiar faces along the way. The basic premise of Basto is the same, taking photos and doing quests for others. But there are a few new gameplay mechanics that are just different enough that make this experience feel just as fresh and engaging as the whole main story. Basto is the perfect ending to a game as chilled out as TOEM is. You get to explore, relax, and hang out with all of the characters you've come to love over the course of this entire adventure. And best yet, you get to do this all at your own pace. You're never forced to leave, which kind of makes it feel like you're playing an epilogue to a film or even the credits of the game itself. From the tropical visuals, new colorful cast of characters, and the excellent sound design and music choice, I can guarantee you Basto will be sticking in your memory long after you leave your vacation. With all that aside though, I want to get back to the main game. After about 4 hours or so into the main story, my journey was starting to wrap up. I explored countless lands, helped out and befriended everyone I met, and now I'm finally about to experience the elusive TOEM that I've been trekking towards this entire time. There I was, climbing this cold, snowy mountain all the way to the heavens. After a few minutes, I finally reached the peak. I take out my trusty camera, point it towards the sky, and, well, I don't want to spoil it, but honestly, just trust me, it's really good. It's something that you have to experience for yourself when playing this game. As I started to head back, I spotted the bus, the shivering driver still waiting for me, underneath the cold and snowy sky atop the peak. I hopped in, sat down, and looked out the window at the world around me. As I watched the expansive landscape whiz by, I realized something. TOEM wasn't the purpose of this whole adventure. It was just the driving force of my journey. What really counted was the time I spent outdoors. What really counted were all the new people I helped out and befriended along the way. What really counted was seeing the world. Just as I had this realization, all of the photos I took on my journey began to scroll by on the screen. I got to relive my adventure one last time. This is my favorite part of TOEM, hands down. The message that this game conveys is so true to our modern world. Sometimes we get way too caught up in the fast, busy paces of our lives that we focus too much on the end goal. We forget to soak in all of the friendly faces, the beauty of nature, and everything that surrounds us. And being a college student who has a pretty heavy workload at times, this message really resonated with me personally. Honestly, I think that the game, the journey, this message, it could connect with anyone, no matter what they're going through in life. I guess it's true what they say. It's not the destination, but rather the journey that truly matters.